What's up, gamers? Dreamcastguy here, and today I'm doing some brutally honest thoughts about Fall Guys because this game is completely taking over the internet. It's the biggest thing on Twitch, hundreds of thousands of people are trying to log into it, but most importantly, I am so addicted to this game. I cannot stop logging in and just trying to fall for myself. But why is it so good? How is it this game is managing to just completely take over the internet? Well, in my opinion, it's because it manages to combine the randomness of something like Fortnite with the amazing mini-games of something like Mario Party, which sounds like such a weird mix, but somehow it works. There are some problems that I want to address with this game, but let's talk about the magic of Fall Guys. So this game I've been playing a bunch. Over the course of this weekend, they had a giant closed beta that turned out to be the entire game, and in this I put in tons and tons of hours. In fact, over the course of this weekend, one of my friends came over to my house, and even then, instead of actually being a good host, we ended up just sitting there and playing the game together for hours, constantly trying to switch off. And the reason this game becomes so addictive is because it's something that combines skill with the savagery of just good old-fashioned randomness. So in this game, 60 players are trying to compete to be the last man standing. When you turn the game on, you just select play, and it automatically drops you into a randomized match. Within these matches, the goal is quite simple, just be the person that manages to make it to the finish. But here's where things get harder because there are a lot of different goals in mind. There are foot races where you're trying to go through a huge obstacle course of giant seesaws or giant whirly things like these huge fans, and if they tap you, you'll get sent flying off the course itself. Or there's things like team events that require you to play a game like soccer or trying to do like a big game of tag or something like this where you actually have to try and hop through rings to get the most points possible, and whoever's in last place is automatically deleted. There is a lot of skill involved in this game, but simultaneously it's so easy to pick up because really there are only 3 buttons in this game. There's grab, there's jump, and there's dive, and that's it. But do not make the mistake of just assuming that this is something that's easy to win because there's not a lot of buttons that you're going to be pressing. Now initially, when a lot of people actually see this gameplay, they just make the mistake of saying, you know what, I bet I would conquer every single match. It's so easy not to just fall into these pit holes, but let me tell you, this game is a lot tougher than it looks because it's just so savage. There are players that play this just to try and kill you. There are people who just want to grab you right as you're going over a ledge to throw you down to your doom. Instead of making it feel toxic though, it just seems like a silly part to the fan base in that everybody is just logging in to try and have the craziest time possible because even if you win or even if you lose, you can just immediately come back. But the thing is, in every single round, you do have to play your best. At the start there's 60 players, but every single round of the match, 20 people are eliminated. It's constantly trying to refine it down to just the narrowest group of the most skilled players who are going to be the last man standing. And something I like is that as these rounds progress, you actually get harder mini games that are randomly selected. Now let's just face it, a lot of these early things, they're incredibly lenient. The courses are very big and the goal is usually very, very straightforward. Like on this one, you have to run in literally a straight line and try and find which of these doors is real. And you have to bust them down and keep on moving. But as things go along, you start getting courses that are a bit more complicated. Something like this one here, which is based on memorization. So on this one, players are given a couple seconds to try and memorize all these tiles beneath our feet before the screen selects the singular space in which you can stand on, whether it be watermelon or grapes. And the thing is that it's fun to win, but in a weird way, it's almost more fun to watch other people lose. Every time I got to witness one of my competitors falling off into the lava, I was just cracking up. But nothing can compare to how good it feels to just win in this game, to actually claim victory after so many rounds of trying. Like, this is the actual clip. The first time I ever managed to win, it was on this really big hexadecimal course. Every time you step on a tile, it gets deleted. So strategically, you have to try and move around the map and fall down as slow as possible, and the last person alive, when everybody else has fallen into this delicious gooey liquid, you are the victor. And in this round, it was me. I literally was jumping up and down because I was so hyped that I had finally conquered victory for my frickin' self. I think the reason this game manages to feel so epic every time you do win is because it feels so based on randomness. Because even if you yourself are a very good player and you're the master of dive jumping and you've gotten really good at trying to complete the objectives, like in this one here, you're collecting eggs and you try and need to have the most before the timer runs out, even if you are a good player, there's still that tiny chance that you're going to end up on a team with a bunch of bad players. And so you could still be eliminated. But I kind of like this because it makes it where you individually are trying your best, you're wanting to do as good as possible and conquer everything and finish all the objectives, but I like the fact that even if you are good, bad luck can sometimes kill you. Even if you're exceptionally fun at something like this one where you have to try and keep your tail and nobody can grab you and rip it off, if you just get unlucky and get cornered, you're still going to lose. I like the fact that this game manages to just be so addictive because you're always wanting to re-queue. You're always wanting to try and make one last mistake. And it's definitely aided by the fact that this game has such hilarious music. I am such a big fan of Splatoon. This has some very Splatoon style music that is just so perfect for this simplistic world. Graphically, obviously it's not a lot to look at. It's not a game that has like super amazing frame rates or like, 8K visuals, but it's definitely enough to convey the information on the screen. But now that we've talked about the goods, I do want to talk a little bit about the bads. There have been a tremendous amount of server issues today. I have a feeling that since this game is quite simplistic, it's not something that has a bunch of different like magic effects or world cities. I have a feeling that they're probably going to be able to completely fix all the server problems within the next 72 hours. But that does bring me to something that I wish that they would create for the first big patch, and that is something where you could actually practice. And this is something I'm directly requesting the developers to put into the game, and I'm saying that as somebody who is super invested right now. I like what the game is right now. It's fun to be able to try and compete and climb towers and try and outsmart my opponents, but I wish that there was a way to practice individual courses. You have so many different things that we can do, like running on logs and trying to jump up this stuff, and all of that feels good, but if you get stuck on a course for the first time ever, you're going to suck. And it's hard to go back and just try it again because you have no idea if you're going to see it again in 30 minutes or in 30 hours. I wish that because there's so many courses, it's difficult to actually master them because it's so randomized. Like, honestly, the one I'm very worst at is this soccer thing. It's like almost Rocket League on foot, and you're trying to knock these giant soccer balls into goals. I am a trash can at it. I really do wish that there was some sort of method for me to create like a private lobby or something that I could do with bots to actually practice it for myself. That way I'm not punishing my teammates purely by accident because I've never had a chance to properly experiment and learn the course for myself. I am also a little bit worried about the microtransactions. I mean, obviously as this game stands right now, everything is purely cosmetic. There's not like there's like a leveling system, so it's probably going to be cosmetic forever, but anytime I see a game that's free up front, because this is completely free on PlayStation Plus right now, I'm still just hoping that they stay with cool costumes that are dirt cheap. Right now, especially in this current version of the game, you earn so much in-game currency. It is incredibly easy to buy all the costumes, but I just like to say right away that, warning, this does have some sort of cosmetic microtransactions in it. So far though, this game is exceptionally fun. It's difficult to put a rating number on it just because these socially focused games manage to waver so much from match to match, but if I had to give this a score right now, I would definitely give this a very solid and very enthusiastic 9 out of 10. If you have not tried this and you own a PlayStation 4, pick it up. If you have a computer and it's decently powered and you want to try something different, I highly recommend you buy this game on Steam because it is just so freaking funny. But these have just been some thoughts. What do you think about Fall Guys so far? Have you had a chance to do any falling yourself? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. I did so badly for this. Thanks to everybody who tuned into my stream. I actually played some of this on stream, and I got some wins, and I got a lot of losses. But at least we had a good time. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.